Hey, this is Merritt from ASG Unlimited. We're proud to announce that we are now partnering with JL Media today. ASG Unlimited was established in 2004. ASG Unlimited provides brand consistency across all media types. In addition to signage, ASG Unlimited also offers logo apparel, promotional items, exhibits, displays, and vehicle graphics, awning, and a full-service install and repair team for all our product lines. With our graphic design department, ASG Unlimited works directly with our clients to develop their ideal image or update their current marketing, all to ensure brand identity and image across all media types and marketing material. ASG Unlimited is located at 3747 South Meridian Street, Indianapolis, Indiana 46217. Call Merritt at 317-786-SIGN. That's 317-786-7446. We can't wait to help you with all your design, signs, and marketing solutions.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got.
Hello and welcome to Indie Brew Battle 2016. My name is Brian Hahn. I am your host this evening. I am also the general manager of the 86th Street Pub, where we have all kinds of beer and have even carried some of the beer from the brewery we are at today. We are at Big Lug off of 86th and Westfield Road, and I'm joined by some good friends of mine, including Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
Hi. How's it going, everybody?
Good, good. Miss Lola Levacious.
Hey, what's up?
Jordan Overton. How you doing down there, bud?
Doing well. Very excited to be here. Love Big Lug, so looking forward to this night.
Yes, sir. And Joe Roach. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Excellent.
I'm glad to be here.
Good, man. Good. We are trying a little bit of food at the moment here at Big Lug. Just had a bit of a tour from Scott, who's one of the head brewers, or who is the head brewer and one of the owners, as well as Eddie Som, owner and member of the Som Restaurant Cartel. I'm just kidding. Soms do great stuff in all their restaurants. Big fan of everything they do. This brewery in particular, this restaurant, I love. Full honesty, this is not my first time here. It is not my second time here. I've been here a couple different times, and every time I've been thoroughly impressed with the quality of the food, the quality of the beer, quality of the service, and just the build out in general. What do you guys think so far?
It's a good time. This is my second time here, but I came the first time and I was not feeling well, so I really couldn't take everything in. But it's a gorgeous day, and I think it really helps highlight, a lot of the big pluses in my book for this place.
It is a lot to take in. There's so much here. It's the different levels and three different areas to three different areas to choose from as you come in, right on the Monon. I mean, this is a great location.
Yeah, I love the space. I mean, you don't really see anything like it around here. I mean, it's so different. Something for everyone, that's for sure. I'm actually looking at the Monon Trail right now from the patio. So it's literally right off the Monon, which is amazing.
Yeah, this is my first time here, and it's open, it's light, it's the perfect fall afternoon, evening.
It is a
lovely,
beautiful day for a
day.
podcast, folks. Well, while we're sitting here chewing down on some of this food, let's talk about it a little bit. We've tried 4 or 5 different plates. All of them have been outstanding. I'm going to start off talking about the cheese curds.
It's a wise starting
Can't
choice.
get enough of the cheese curds. Served with a green goddess ranch dressing. It's like an herbal ranch. My girlfriend's crazy about it. Honestly, pretty good with the cheese.
It's very tasty.
We also tried some jumbo wings, which are double fried, and there's a little bit of cayenne in the flour, they were telling us.
Yeah.
Gives it a nice layer to the heat. It's not necessarily overbearing, but it reminds you like, oh, I'm eating chicken wings.
Yeah, it's a little bit of spice, but they also brine it for 2 days, which really makes it's so tender. It's like really, really tender and juicy, and the double frying is amazing. I don't know why I've never tried a chicken wing that's been double fried.
Yeah, I mean, the crunch on them I love, and then it's still tender. When he said cayenne, I mean, at first, I'm not a big hot food person, so I bit into it, and it's definitely has some heat to it, but it's not overpowering at all. I mean, it's definitely approachable, and the flavor is amazing.
Agreed. I'm a Buffalo native, so wings are kind of in my blood. These are quite tasty.
So as a Buffalo native, what do you think about the next item, the fried cauliflower wings?
They're trying.
They're trying.
They're trying to be wings.
They aren't
They are
quite
very
chicken.
good cauliflower.
Yeah.
It is very good
Yeah,
cauliflower.
it's a great vegan-friendly item and great flavor. It's not just Frank's Red Hot in there.
That's true.
Yeah, they really.
Some depth of flavor there.
Yeah, roasted cauliflower is actually one of my favorite foods. I have it maybe once a week, and this is awesome. But the breading and flavor to them, they actually pack a nice little pop of flavor and punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still has a little bit of crunch left. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
We also tried the classic poutine, which is awesome. If you've never tried poutine, you're doing life wrong. I've seen a couple different places around here that life is too short. Eat poutine, and it's got this little skeleton on. Look, he's right there on the napkin holder. It just cracks me up every time I look at him. But yeah, they also got some really interesting art, especially upstairs here. There's that said skeleton on the far wall from where we are. It's a nice kind of abstract, shape-driven art. I feel like this is a bar that's, as someone who has a bar on 86th Street, this is different
Yeah.
than what I was expecting when I first came here. It's got youth to it. It's
Yeah.
vibrant. You know.
I wasn't expecting something quite like this, but I love it. I think when I saw this area, I'm thinking more like, oh, it's gonna be like chain-ish style, but you walk in and it's anything but.
No,
Agreed.
Anything but.
It's very it's unsuspecting. You have, it's artistic. It is a little bit industrial, but very clean, very new. I guess it is, fairly new. It's not quite a year old yet, but it's still, you can tell this will last. I mean, as far as the aesthetics, this is here to stay.
Yeah, it's definitely like its own thing. You're like, oh, okay, I'm at Big Lug. Like, even if I was to go somewhere else that had the same feel, to me, this would be kind of the standard. Like, oh, this is kind of like Big Lug.
Yeah.
Kind of aesthetic.
The branding, I mean, I love their branding as a whole. Right on the Monon, I mean, they literally have like their giant grain silo branded with their logo.
Functional grain silo.
Yeah, functional.
Yes.
Yeah, jumps right into their grain room there. Yeah, and it's, I mean, just from that, the whole place, I mean, it has the same personality. Even if you follow them on Twitter and social media, I mean, they reflect their entire personality amongst their entire location, online, website. I love that that's all coming together.
Yeah, very consistent.
Yeah.
Excellent. The last item on our little food dinner that we tried was the Haas dip, which, did I hear him say this was voted the best dip in Indiana? Or Indianapolis? Yeah?
Even
Awesome.
if I didn't hear it, I would heartily agree.
Yeah,
It's very
it's
good.
got
amazing.
corned bean salsa in there, like guacamole.
Black bean hummus and guac.
Yeah, it's complex. It's like the new age 7-layer dip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got Greek yogurt in there, and the black bean hummus is like really
it's
good.
so good.
It's very
Yeah.
tasty.
And melted mozzarella in there, and they serve it with a side of the Frito scoops, as Eddie said, because they're the best chips on earth.
Right, they didn't
They
have to
just don't.
doctor those up. They're
No.
just naturally good.
Open the
And it's
bag,
a
pour 'em
natural
out.
complement to what they've prepared here.
Absolutely. They do have a pretty extensive menu here between their specialty stuff, salads, sandwiches. They also do a lot of different food specials as I look through my notes trying to find them.
I just saw those.
Here we are. It's on the backside of their beer menu, and they do specials, I think he said monthly, and they're between $10 and $15. They got 4 at the moment. I really think this is the kind of place that you can go in any mood, for any purpose. If you're looking for a brew pub experience, you come in, you get to try a couple beers, try a couple items, maybe split some apps with some friends. If you want to watch TV, on the upstairs in the cantina side, you've got a beautiful back bar full of growlers and bullets that kind of incentivize you to want to take those home. I know I do. And then 5 flat screen TVs to watch sports on, or perhaps the debate tonight.
Yeah, it definitely lends itself well to multiple different options. You've got people like resting from biking on the Monon outside, people up here watching sports or the debate tonight. They've got some. They have a bit of a game going on tonight
right.
with
Debate
the debate
games.
game.
Ooh.
We appear to have a drinking game, And you have
I
to
like
drink every
drinking
time
games.
you hear certain words if you are Team Donald or Team Hillary,
So-
or both, as the picture
I'm
is.
just going
pointing
to read
out.
it because this cracks me up.
It's pretty good.
If you're on Team Donald, for those of you listening at home, if you're going to watch the debate tonight, play along with me, because I'll probably still be here playing. You must drink if you hear the words wall, huge, crooked, debt, or police. Wall, huge, crooked, debt, or police. Team Hillary must drink if you hear pneumonia, email, Obama, Benghazi, or guns. Good luck and drive safe.
Yeah.
That's funny stuff. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe get an Uber after
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Uber,
yeah.
Uber,
It's a good
call
idea.
in to work
Call in sick
tomorrow.
tonight.
Get it done. You're coming down with the flu.
As my aunt and her friends would call it, calling in scared. I'm afraid I want people to come into work tomorrow.
I've always been a big fan of rectal glaucoma. I just can't see my ass coming to work. I learned that when I worked in Florida. Anyway, moving on. No more debate talk. Let's talk about beer. We're going to be tasting
Indeed.
a couple different beers tonight with our new friend Eddie Som, owner of Big Lug. They are making their way out here shortly. In the meantime, let's chit-chat about what you guys think of the different spots. I personally, if I was going to come, especially on a day like this, the patio place to be, especially downstairs. Dog-friendly, and right next door to Rockstone Pizza, so if you're in the mood
also,
for pizza.
I need to mention it's pig friendly.
Pig friendly.
Also.
Pig-friendly.
Pig friendly.
Yeah. You can see
Pigs.
Maud. You can see Maud down there.
Maud the pig?
Yep.
Huh. What's Maud the pig? You know what? Let's ask Maud the pig's father, Mr. Eddie Som. How you doing down
Hello,
there, Eddie?
everybody.
Hey.
In an excellent Cheech and Chong shirt, might I add.
$10 at Target.
Nice, my man.
Ultimate deal shopper.
Right on. We were just talking a little bit about the accessibility of your patio downstairs, being dog and pet friendly,
Yep.
and
100%.
just kind of raving, all in all, about the look of the brew pub in general, how awesome the food was.
Thank you.
Yeah, thoroughly impressed.
Yes, all compliments, all paid compliments. I appreciate it. 100%.
Pay me in beer, sir.
Yeah, I mean, the goal with the patio was, to have an experience, something a little bit different, not just throw some chairs outside and, hey, when it's nice, come join us. But, we wanted to have bikers and people who wanted to, have a North Central reunion party. And, if you're at Kroger getting some groceries, you can stop over here and have a beer outside. We just wanted to make it accessible, fun, a little bit different. So, to have a canteen outside and that kind of gated in, fun, tight feel. We do live music. It feels right, so. Yeah,
I really like the walk-up service idea down there, where you have table service inside, but if you're looking for something just even more casual, just sitting around a bar,
Yeah.
go outside and you can order your beer, not be bothered if you want.
Yeah, that kind of came from my early 20s at Rathskeller, and how much I enjoyed the flow. It was easy, it was fun. You didn't feel overwhelmed or pressured, but Dr. Dog used to play there, and I would go see Dr. Dog, and you could get a beer and hang out, and no matter how packed it was, you never felt like service was slow or like you didn't have a chance getting a beer. Just they had a concession stand, and it was simple. So that was the idea. We didn't want to slow down the efficiency of our kitchen or service, or have to add on 6 people, and then it's starts raining and you cut 6 people because hey, you don't need to work anymore. We wanted to make it easy, and so it was. I think it was the right decision. Sometimes it's you get a line out there, and it might not be the best, but people have been pretty open to it.
Yeah, right on. I'm frankly, with the walk-up service like that, I'm okay with, like at the Rathskeller. If I'm waiting in line for 15 minutes to get my pretzel, that's cool. I order my pretzel, I sit down, drink a beer, and then I go up in 15 minutes
Yeah.
when my pretzel's ready.
Yeah.
It's, it's
Exactly.
low maintenance.
It feels very much like canteen service at a summer camp, which is really
Yeah.
fun. Ride your bike. You're like, I really need a beer before nap time.
Yeah.
And this is the place to do it.
Don't we all?
Where did you
perfect.
go to summer camp?
Yeah, I want to know
I'm
this.
just saying that would have been nice.
They
to
have adult
that.
summer camps now. There was one in Chicago
What?
that I thought about going to. Yeah, they have like arts and crafts, and they let you take naps, and then you can drink. There's like a session where everyone gets together and has drinks, and
That's awesome.
yeah, but you have to put your phones away, and it's pretty
Sign
cool.
me up for that, man.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, I
cool.
do that.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, so
Cool. Well, we have been presented with our first sample of beer. This is the Quintana which is a clean, crisp, refreshing, spicy citrus notes ale. It's American and German hop varieties and the addition of dried lemon peel. There's no Bush League psych-out stuff. Eddie, why don't you tell us a little bit about this guy?
Quintana, we one of our 3 year-round house beers. Our goal was to make, a lot of styles. Really, the goal was for Scott and I to be able to kind of do what we wanted to do. We didn't want to be held down by investors or by popular demand. It was whatever Scott and I felt like brewing, we could brew. Now, with that being said, we still wanted a few beers that people could enjoy on a regular basis. So this was one of them. It's a pretty traditional style American wheat. It's got that nice little haziness to it. Really where we strayed away a little bit, it's a little bit higher in hop character than some people are used to. I mean, you wouldn't try a Blue Moon and look for the hop character. But, it does have that similar little fruitiness there. Finishes really nice and crisp. So, a little higher carbonation. But then that lemon peel just gives it a slight little, helps the hops out a little bit, makes them a little bit juicier.
Yeah.
So
It's got a great finish on it.
Yeah, that lemon, right at the end, it seems like, which is, I love that, because it makes me want to keep drinking more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We knew it was going to be more bitter. I mean, that was something we knew and something we wanted. We didn't want that traditional, introductory, well, we're not proud of this beer, but we serve it because people will drink more of it. We wanted to have something that we were still proud to serve, and, it took a little bit more explanation on our part where it came from. But, it sells really well. We use it in beer batter. A lot of restaurants like it just because people will drink 2 or 3 pints of it, not just one, and on to the next one, which is a goal of ours on any of the house beers.
Right on. Yeah, I think it's incredibly drinkable, especially on a day like today. When I got here a little bit early, I wanted to try something, so I asked what beers we'd be trying. I went for the Export Stout, which is awesome. I'm kind of happy I didn't drink this one because I'd probably be drunk. This is super good. It's really good. Very tasty. Very approachable.
I can see it come off the Monon and stopping that patio and drinking a number of those.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
It'll make you want to stay.
Easy.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Moving on, we have the Lugtoberfest, a 6% Oktoberfest Märzen ale, or lager, excuse me. Not meant to be messed with by law. Many brewers had to use the same ingredients and processes for years to make these beers. So these Big Lugs did just that and made a clean malty lager with German noble hops. They give a pleasant finish. Not 100% German, but who cares? Let's drink up.
Exactly.
It's tasty.
Who cares?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Oktoberfest beers year-round, but especially this time of year when you get so many different ones, it's fun to compare them.
Yeah. We made this one very traditional style as well. Not everything we do is traditional, even though the first 2 we've had are. This is, it's not something we wanted to mess with. We had an Oktoberfest party, what was that, 2 weeks ago now? And, it was last week. It was last week. So, sorry. We did that party, and we wanted to have this beer that people could just kind of drink in a liter and kind of have fun all night. And it was exactly that. It's a lager, so it's got that lager finish that you're looking for. It's not fruity. It's not overwhelming. There's not a lot of caramel flavor in there. It's just a pretty straightforward lager with a little bit richer complexity at the beginning. But Oktoberfest aren't really meant to be messed with, in my opinion. Some people might use some rye in there. Some people, might get a little more aggressive with, European hops. But we went pretty by the book on this one.
Nice. One thing I dislike about some Oktoberfests I've had this year is they tend to be a little too malt sweet forward. Like you said, you didn't go real caramel heavy, which I appreciate because it makes for a much cleaner lager.
Definitely, you can probably drink more of these
Right.
one sitting instead of just
Your taste buds don't get destroyed from the sweetness up front.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
See, this is my type of autumn beer. This is outdoors. It's nice and crisp and cool.
So no pumpkin
Yeah.
beer for you then.
I confess. My name is Lindsay, and I thoroughly enjoy my pumpkin beer.
Hi, Lindsay.
There's nothing wrong with pumpkin beers.
Nah.
We don't brew one,
So
but
good.
it's there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Is there a certain reason for that? You just haven't fit into your guys' schedule? Or is it-
No, we made the decision that Scott used to work at Beer Brewery,
Okay.
and at a certain point you can't do certain things without looking like you're jocking their style.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's no one in Indiana known for their pumpkin beer more so than those guys. And,
It's respect. I think
It's respect. Yeah, no, it was out of respect. We love Darren, we love Jerry and Ryan, and we do a beer dinner at one of my other restaurants with them every month, and we have nothing but respect for those guys. But pumpkin beers are good. I think if they're made the right way, they're incredibly delicious. They're not a year-round beer, right? You wouldn't. We've actually joked about we'll just release a pumpkin beer like next April or something like that.
like a Christmas in July,
Yeah.
but
Spring pumpkin.
Yeah, we're gonna do a collaboration with Black Acre called Al Gore Rhythms.
Nice.
oh my god,
And
I like that just
we're
from the
gonna
name.
we're gonna call it our greenhouse beer because we're gonna release like a super fruity tropical IPA
Fantastic.
just right in the middle of like Christmas.
That's awesome. Hell yes.
Yeah, so I'm
Global
sure
warming.
Steve will be really happy to get some pub on that one.
Oh man,
That's gonna be awesome.
you could have just topped it Black Acre. Like I want it.
Yeah,
I don't care what it
Pretty
is. I'll
much.
drink it.
yep,
Right on. How many different styles do you guys brew here? I mean, we got a little bit of a tour.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we've kind of laughed because we've seen all these other breweries celebrate like year anniversaries or talk about how many beers they brewed. And, we brewed 27 different styles, and I think right now we're at like 58
Goodness.
different
Wow.
styles.
And it hasn't even been a year.
Right, it's been 11 months.
We've only brewed the only 3 beers that we've repeated are Quintana, Christofferson, and King's Jive, our 3 house beers. Other than that, we've never repeated a style. Now, that'll change. Like, we're actually
Wow.
brewing Flying Horse next week, which is our Kolsch, which is really popular. And so that'll be our Colts beer, I guess you could say, that we'll kind of release for the next few months. But, our plan was that first year was just to brew whatever the heck we wanted. If we wanted to brew it, we're going to brew it. And so that's what we did. We brewed a lot of different styles, sours, stouts, lagers, ales, seasonals, it just didn't matter. It was kind of like if we thought that's what we wanted to drink in 14 to 28 days, and that's what we made. So,
Right on, man.
Kind of an experiment to start with then.
yeah. I mean, Scott had a lot of recipes. It's kind of like with food, right? That's why I do weekly specials is I can make the same thing every day, but I eventually start to be mad at myself. So, I do weekly specials to keep it interesting, and it also gives you an appreciation for the stuff you do every day. It makes you realize that there's a certain amount of calmness that comes over making the same sauce, making the same malt, making the same wort that you get from going out and experimenting. So I think that was part of the reason we did it, was to keep ourselves interested and motivated.
It kind of keeps you on your toes, and it gives you like a little bit more wiggle room to experiment and kind of see like what other people are doing, and just like
Absolutely.
I could do that better or tweak it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, and years going forward, we'll make the same beers. I mean, at a certain point, you can't just keep making every single type of IPA you can think of. But we'll make the same beers. We've had people call on. We had a beer. We named a bunch of beers after presidents for our IPAs, and one was called Trickle Down after Reagan, and everyone wanted that one back. We had our William Taft, which was kind of like he looked at my grandpa. That's where Big Lug Canteen came from. So that one will come back. So there's definitely styles we'll bring back, but it just kind of depends on popular demand type thing right now. We'll see.
Right on. You said the name came from your grandfather?
Yeah, that's even a longer story. How long does this segment go?
It's an hour show,
Keep
man.
going.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
We have time.
So the original name of this was going to be, we own Sam's Restaurants, my father and myself, and my grandpa had nothing to do with it. He actually passed away when my dad was 13, but he's kind of a legendary guy in the Catholic community and the north side of Indianapolis community, and he's just a really giving guy. He ran the CYO for a number of years. He helped get a lot of sports off the ground for kids. He taught speech at Marion for a number of years. He's just a really cool guy, and people called him Hoss. And so I thought, well, it'd be really cool to have a place called Lug Canteen, named after my grandpa. This really awesome, a greatest guy. So, okay, we'll go name this place Hoss. And so we found out there was a beer with the trademark called Hoss Lager, which you've probably heard of if you've heard of Great Divide. And we sent the email to the guy, hey, we're just a small brewery in Indianapolis. We're not going to brew a beer called Hoss. We're not going to distribute. Can we name our place? Cease and desist. Don't, if you do it, we'll sue you immediately. This is from the president, sort of like, oh, that hurts. So we're in the middle of branding with these guys, Kodo Design, who are fantastic and good buddies of ours. And we're like, all right, well, guys, we're about halfway in, but it's time to change our name. So so we thought about it. And my grandpa, to me, I didn't know him, but I always thought he looked like William Taft. And there's not a lot of pictures of William Taft to go by, but in my head, it was like if William Taft could be somebody, it would be William Somm. So we started looking into names, and one of his nicknames was Big Lub with a B, and that to me sounded like a guy who just had stuff drizzled all over his face. But I called my dog Big Lug I just called them Big Lug. I think some people naturally pick that name up, and so I was like, well, that's kind of cool. That could work. And
Yeah.
That's a very cool.
And
That's
so
kind of a
that's very cool.
sign. There's your sign.
Yeah.
I pitched
fine.
it. I mean, we talked about like Switch Hand Brewery, Derailleur Brewery, some bike names, stuff like that. Since we're on the Monon, and just none of them fit, none of them worked. We just were like, that's not us. Like you won't find Eddie Sam biking down the Monon, and you're just not gonna have him. Like I would be living a lie if I told you that. I mean, I'll bike every 8 to 10 years, and that's when you'll find me. So Big Lug was much more my style. Sit down, watch some Game of Thrones or something, and drink a beer.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
So there was Big Lug. It was born. So.
Awesome,
Very
man.
cool.
That's a really cool story.
Yeah,
I like
right. I
that.
know. So our 1 year anniversary beer coming out is called Lost Hogger. In kind of memory of that. We have some posters up, and we call it Unattainably Masculine because they have some tagline about their Haas Lager similar. So it's
You should send him one.
I'm sure we'll get sued. Our goal's been to get sued sooner or later.
Hey,
Just
just frame the letter,
It's a
man.
great marketing model.
You might be on the right path.
Yeah, we had a beer called Lugweiser, and we didn't get sued. So if we did that, then I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen.
I mean, that's going back to the personality of the whole brand.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that reflects all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
which I love that. Watching you guys on Twitter is amazing. Just
Yeah.
you guys yeah.
Some would disagree with you, but yeah. So,
Some certain radio personalities.
I've been called the child a number of times.
Oh, well.
But Twitter.
I
You gotta
enjoy
live
it.
the Twitter.
Yeah.
You can feel the fake Twitter accounts, man. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
love Twitter because that's what it's about. It's about being just funny and you got a quick second to tell it how it is, and some people just want to do the whole here's our specials. This is
Yeah.
BS. It's like whatever. I'm not gonna follow you, man. It's
boring.
pointless.
Yeah.
So I like to start fights.
Nothing wrong with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I know what I'm
You
doing
gotta
when I
keep
get
him
home.
Marketing
interested.
technique.
Gotta
Yeah.
keep him interested.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Or just
follow.
bystanders like, what is he gonna post next?
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
today's drama?
Keep
I love
him
it.
hanging.
Yeah.
So for those that are bad at Twitter like me, what's your Twitter handle so I can look that up quickly?
Just Big Lug Canteen.
Nice.
I like that where it's like very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I don't like places where it's like stuff is abbreviated and you have to
Yeah.
figure it out and you're like,
What is
No.
this?
What
No
is
one
this?
has stolen that yet, so that worked.
At the Big Lug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
No blue check mark yet. That'll come.
Nice. Solid. All right. Well, moving on with these awesome beers that I'm sucking down far too quickly is the Christofferson American Oatmeal Pale. This was actually one of the first oatmeal pale ales I had. So I kind of judge all of them off of yours, and frankly, I like yours the best.
Oh,
I'm not
thank
going to
you.
lie, man. 5.7%, 45 IBU. This American Oatmeal Pale Ale has a slightly heavier malt body than your normal pale ale. It strikes a balance with the citrus, piney, and floral hops. Oatmeal is healthy, right? So cussing... What? So cussing good, it will make you cuss your pants.
Oh, that's so good.
That's hilarious.
Nobody cuss your pants right now.
It's from the
Right.
movie.
Resist,
I don't know if anyone's a
hold
big
it in.
Roald Dahl fan. I was a huge Roald Dahl fan as a
Like
kid.
Matilda?
Like Matilda,
Like
exactly.
Matilda, the
And
BFG,
he
James
wrote
the Giant Peach.
and the next book, the next one you have to name because it's his greatest is the Fantastic Mr. Fox, and so that's where the name comes from. Is Christofferson is the nephew of the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh, there's a
Interesting.
little fox in the
Yes.
logo.
Oh, cute.
So yes, that's where that one came from, and they don't cuss in the movie or the book. They just say cuss. So
That's awesome.
what'd you just cuss and say? Like that's what they'll do.
Cuss you, buddy.
Yeah, you better cuss that. It's pretty good. So that's where that comes from.
That's
the,
awesome.
The
Do you-
mouthfeel in this, I like. I mean, especially for a pale ale. I mean, it's a little bit thicker because of that oatmeal in there. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of that one. Just, I mean, it still has the pale ale qualities of it, but
Yeah.
the mouthfeel's a little bit thicker.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's going to be a little bit heavy, but with the citrus, it rounds it out really, really nicely.
Yeah, the oatmeal is a little misleading, and a lot of people who drink this, we get a lot of people who are like, "Oh, it's too oatmeal-y for me." And
What does that even mean?
yeah,
How is it too, like,
oatmeal doesn't really give off a lot of flavor,
Yeah.
especially the amount that we're using in this beer. Oatmeal is really used to give body.
yeah.
And when we made this beer, we kind of liked the idea. We had been doing some research in the Pacific Northwest, mainly Portland, and we were seeing a lot of these. We're seeing a lot of oatmeal pale ales, and every place we went to, we just found ourselves kind of comparing them, and we just liked them more and more. Fatheads out there built a new establishment, and their oatmeal pale was incredible. We had one out in Astoria that was really, really good at Bowie, and we just kind of fell in love with it. So when we came back here, we weren't trying to compete with Osiris. We weren't trying to go out there and say, look at our pale ale, it's better. I think we wanted something that was a little bit more palatable to the everyday beer palate. And oatmeal helps you do that. It gives it a little bit of sweetness, gives it a little bit more body, and you still get all that hop character that you're looking for if you're a hophead. So this beer is really tasty. We're going to do a fresh hop one as soon as our hops on site are done growing. So it should be pretty good. But yeah, it's definitely got some body. That's what you're looking for in this pale ale.
Yeah, it is really tasty. This is my favorite of this evening so far.
I will say, the aroma misled me just a little bit. I tasted it, and it was, it was different than what I thought it was going to be, and in a good way. I can't explain it, but I don't normally go around just sniffing beer, but
you should, man.
I do it on the ones that I know are going to smell really good, and I don't know, I like the flavor really well. I'm going to sniff it just a little bit and get that anticipatory moment. And this one I thought, this is going to be interesting, and I tasted it. It was different than what I thought it would be.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, we get that a lot. It's got a good hop character in the nose, but it doesn't have that same resiny flavor.
Yeah.
And the flavor is a little bit more juicy than that. It's got a little bit more like citrus. So it's a little misleading, but it is good.
For sure. And speaking of those hops down there, did I hear Chinook and
Crystal?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the first year, so as far as bittering is concerned, it wouldn't really work out. But we can do a dry hop with it, and we've been smelling them, kind of picking a few of the cones off, and they're starting to get those acids we're looking for. And Scott or I, we're not big gardeners, so we're not professionals. But I think that we did all right. I mean, they're looking good. They're growing in full. It's a little late in the season. They're blooming late, which we don't know why. We again not professional, but they're starting to come in. We'll get a few pounds, probably 20, 15 pounds.
Right.
So,
Awesome. Your thumbs look green from this angle.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we grow our own basil. We grow our own mint. So we grow some stuff that we use in cocktails down there and using our Haas dip and stuff, which helps. I think it's cool, but it's also fresh. It's really fresh picked right into a syrup, or fresh picked right into guacamole, or fresh picked right into whatever. So that's cool. But the hops worked out. We'll keep growing, and we're actually going to kind of extend it down a little bit with a few more rhizomes. But
and it makes a very cool look out on that patio.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it goes with the farm to table movement. It's right on the patio.
The exactly. The new brewery, farm to table.
Very cool.
What was next year? Was it the
next year? We've got the Ted Putt, which is an Imperial Brown Ale, 7.8%, 35 IBUs. A boozy brown ale with subtle hints of toffee and chocolate, brewed with the Indianapolis Disc Golf Club for the Checkered Flag Open. Scott calls this one calls it a real sport. The disc golf?
So
that's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Eddie plays basketball, not trying to be the best at exercising.
Oh god.
Sorry.
That's a Kenny Powers quote.
Do you guys write all the descriptions yourselves?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a description expert.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea how to brew beer. The only thing I bring to the table is making descriptions.
That's all.
I bought beer for many a year at restaurants, so I've read every description in the book. So that's what I bring to the table.
I saw that Kenny Powers quote. I was like, yeah, it's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kenny Powers is not trying to be the best at exercising, so neither is Eddie Song.
Oh man.
I feel so behind in my pop culture.
I'm a pop culture. I do
that is good.
trivia every week at one of my restaurants and once a month here. So I'm a trivia pop culture guru.
I'm gonna have to make it up here.
I am a good
Right
keeper
on.
of much random knowledge.
That trivia one you have in front of you needs to be changed out because
Yeah.
it's a couple months ago probably.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think we've just pulled those out. But we do, it's actually this Wednesday. So
Nice.
Yeah, this Wednesday is our trivia night, 8:30.
8:30
It's
on
fun. Yeah, we
Wednesday.
usually get like 25 to 30 teams out here of
Wow.
Do you do it
Wow.
downstairs, upstairs?
four. So I'm usually right where you are doing it, and then I have speakers, one over there and one down on the patio, and then we do it throughout the entire place.
Oh,
nice,
wow.
man.
So depending on the weather, it depends on the weather. If it's not nice, we go
Lola,
inside.
Lola, would you like to be on a team with a former Jeopardy contestant?
Oh, there you go.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's
do
do
it.
that sometime.
So yeah, I mean it's pop culture driven. I mean clearly, I do it every week at one of the restaurants. So you run out of history eventually, and geography questions. So you have to find something new. So a lot of it's like
Thousands of years of history. How can you run out?
I know, right? Yeah, well, there's a certain extent to where you lose people, right?
That's true.
You can only ask
some point you're gonna
you can
lose
only
them.
ask so many questions about like a certain river or a certain mountain range before people are like, we don't know what you're talking about. But like we did like 1998 last week, and it was just questions from 1998. So
A fine year.
stuff like that.
Good year.
So it depends. It
An
depends.
awkward year.
Yeah, sometimes it'll be like, what do we do? Dancing with the Stars, but it was not like you had to know Dancing with the Stars. It was people based on Dancing with the Stars. So I'd ask a question about Ryan Lochte, and I would ask a question about James Hinchcliffe. So if you knew who was on the show, you might do better. But you don't actually have to know about Dancing with the Stars. So it's fun. I make all the questions. It's not like a handheld thing. It's based on what's in my brain. So
That's awesome,
which can
man.
get a little dark and weird, but who cares?
You are a
But yeah, Ted Putt,
interesting
right?
guy.
Okay, beer.
Beer, no kidding. I could just sit and listen to you tell stories all day. Man. I'm definitely gonna follow that Twitter.
Ted Putt was made for an event. They were in here doing an amateur event here a couple weeks ago. And Scott is a really big. I mean, he's good at disc golf. He is, even though it's super lame. And
Tell us how you really feel.
and he wanted to make a beer for it, and so we donated a lot of kegs to him. And they're cool enough to come in every night and drink a bunch of beer, and we had a lot of fun with them. But Ted Putt apparently is about one of his buddies who. It's like having like an 8-footer in golf, right? You try not to be too aggressive. You might be like, I'm gonna try to make it, but then you end up like 2 feet short. But hey, you're gonna get a par, right? Or you're gonna get a bogey. Like, okay, I'm better with that than 3-putting. Well, that's how Ted is. Apparently, Ted, if he has like a 15-foot toss, he just kind of like barely nubs it up there.
Like Happy Gilmore.
Yeah,
Like
so then he knows he's
tapping
gonna
in.
just be able to. So that was the Ted Putt. But Ted Putt. It's worked out really well for us. I mean, I think Imperial Browns this time of year are going to sell themselves.
Yeah.
But I love how toffee driven it is. I love the aroma is so big and like malt driven, and then the finish is just like that perfect amount of boozy heat that you need to kind of clean it all up. This is my favorite. This is if I'm taking a beer home right now. This is it.
Yeah.
It opens up. Like, you get that really nice mouthfeel at first, and at the very end, after you swallow it, it kind of
Like continues
blossoms.
to blossom. Yeah.
It's kind of fun. It's delicious.
Nice.
Yeah. You have a lot of browns that will be too watery. This one is definitely full bodied. So I like that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lighter color, but it definitely has a little bit more flavor than the everyday kind of stuff
sure.
you're used
True.
to.
Very enjoyable.
Speaking of growlers, I see that your growlers are on special on Fridays for $6 for the house beers and 10 for the rotators.
Yeah.
That is a crazy
That's
good
a
deal.
crazy good deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
That's
and, we
awesome.
can't quite go Sun King and go $5, but $6 is a pretty
pretty
solid.
Close counts.
Right.
Yeah, man.
I know where I'm
Yeah.
stopping on the way home from work
No
on Friday.
kidding.
Yeah, and it's been picking up in the last couple months. I think when we first opened up, people we still get the question, "Do you guys sell growlers?" And it's like, yeah, well, there's growlers on every single wall.
So please tell me, please tell me
you
they're
clearly
standing
haven't
in front of a
looked
wall.
around.
Of
If
them.
they don't see growlers or the mugs from the mug club, if they come in and ask, "Hey, do you guys have a mug club?" They're not looking at
They're
it.
just not. They're not aware of their surroundings. So but they're starting to pick up. We're selling a lot more growlers, which I think is cool. I mean, that was part of the goal of selling everything on site here was, we don't want to have to go onto other lines. We don't have to reach out to restaurants. We want to be able to, hey, when you want Big Lug beer, then you got to come to Big Lug. It makes it more, I think, important for the neighborhood. The neighborhood has something to hold on to
Yeah.
and call its own. And that was really, instead of being on Mass Ave or Irvington or we were like, what, let's try to be something new. Let's try to go in an area that needs a little bit of love. And Scott and I were familiar with Nora, so that was what we wanted, people to come here and then enjoy it and feel like a Big Lug experience. So we're happy to sell growlers. That's what we want to do. Come in, pick it up, that type of thing.
Right on, man.
Indeed.
Awesome.
I can't believe we've come to our last beer. I'm sad. I want more. This next one is called Conquistador, and it is an American IPA at 6.7%, 75 IBUs. This IPA is a smash style, which means we only use one style of hop, El Dorado, and one style of malt, Two Row. This beer is bursting with grapefruit aroma and flavor with a bitter tinge in the finish to remind you that, yeah, it's an IPA and not juice.
It is very juicy.
That smell is
is.
very juicy.
It smells juicy. Goodness.
Across the board, the aroma on all 5 of those was phenomenal.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, it definitely stood out to me.
Well, that's part of what we do. You know, you guys saw the brewery. You know, we do gravity feed downstairs. We try not to introduce oxygen as much as we can. Try not to use pumps as much as we can. This beer is coming off of bright tanks, not kegs. You know, our goal is to say if we can take out something that has the potential to mess with the beer, then that's what we're going to do. So, you know, it's nice to drink here because you're getting super fresh, as fresh as it gets. This beer's 2.5 weeks old.
Wow.
You know, so
That's fresh.
yeah.
Oh, that is delicious.
But you in the IPA world, that's the goal, right? That Imperial Brown, we could sit around a few months and it'd still be tasting probably better. But in this world, IPA world, where everyone's drinking, you want it to be fresh. So
I could see myself walking down the Monon and beating on your door on a Sunday morning before you're open, and saying, "Hey, I need some of this Conquistador." This is definitely like grapefruit juice. It is very tasty.
So good.
Yeah, juicy is definitely the word, man. Those El Dorado hops are singing.
yeah, the El Dorado's grapefruit. And that's why we had a lot of fun with that hop. And we always change our IPAs. Never had the same IPA. Originally, it was called the William Taft Presidential Ale, and it had a logo of
History
Taft
nerd
and
in me is just loving all
and
the
a,
Taft references.
and a bathtub.
Dying.
And we just didn't work out. We had people vote on names, and people weren't getting. They just weren't giving names in, or I don't think they were getting the idea. They just kept naming it William Taft, and it's like, well, we can't name every beer William Taft, and eventually we're like, you know what, we're just gonna do whatever we want, and I think that worked out. And so we've kind of gone away from that, but we've made West Coast IPAs, we've made a Smash style IPA, American IPA. We just had a beer called Hans Grew Beer, which was a German IPA. And, we've had just so many different styles of IPAs. And some of them are home runs, and some of them people are like, when are you going to bring the other one back? So, it's good for us to see that. So we know which next year we'll probably only brew 6 or 7 different styles and run them for a month or two and then bring out the next style. So now we kind of know which ones we want to bring back and run again. We have a sour IPA coming out in about a week and a half. So that'll be fun.
Very cool.
They just got done sour
had me
kettling.
at
It
sour.
smelled like a big pile of vegetables. And sour kettling smells terrible, but it tastes great.
Yeah, it does.
Kimchi.
That was actually Bro Culture was the first one that I've had from you guys.
Yeah, that was a big
at
hit.
Central State, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that sour IPA.
Yeah,
then.
Bro Culture. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think next year we brew Edgar Allan Bro, and so we'll keep going.
So
mess
I
with
mean,
that.
I know Bro Culture had like 20 descriptors. To
Yeah,
it.
that was the goal. The goal is to have
Yeah.
the most uber bro beer we could make.
Yeah.
I think Josh and I we had both kind of had that idea that when I own Sam's Place, which is kind of a craft beer bar down the street, and it's just everyone has the same questions. You have Zombie Dust.
Yeah.
What's your hoppiest beer? What's your most sour beer? It's always the same thing. And so we were like, well, let's just do all that in the same beer.
Oh, the same one.
We'll do sour. So we did Greek yogurt. We used like pediococcus and lactobacillus in there, and a bunch of orange peel. Really high alcohol, sour, mosaic, and citra hops, and it was just kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was funny.
It was definitely good too. I mean,
We
I
ended
had
up
a couple of
aging
those.
it, aging it with kiwis and a buggy whipped wheat barrel, and that was really good. So, yeah,
Worked out well.
It was yeah. We'll do that one again for sure.
That's good.
We
Look
talked
for
about
that
making
one.
a coffee rattler with those guys, but then they end up being somewhat successful. So now they don't have enough time.
Yeah. They just announced their expansion.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
so
Over there on
that too.
Rural Street.
Yep.
So very good. Good for those guys. Josh, Chris, and Jake are 3 awesome
Yeah,
dudes.
that's for
Very,
sure.
very cool dudes. Good for Indianapolis.
And we had mentioned, actually, we got off on the subject earlier about some of the artwork and that sort of thing. I understand that there's a local artist that's near to you that's done some of this work here.
So yeah, my sister and I have done most of the mosaics that you see. Those are us. And then the other artist is a buddy of mine named Eric Leffler who lives out in L.A. and he's one of my best buds. We grew up together, and I just love his stuff. I buy it if I can. And he's actually doing some more. He's got 2 more coming for our year anniversary. The brewing process, but in his style. His work's really, really cool. Really, really great. But the idea was to sit here and say, we don't need, I'm so close to cussing every time. I cuss all the time. I'm sorry.
Just say cuss.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here thinking I'm on the radio. I got to stop. Or I'm on, podcast.
We don't need any cussing. What?
No, you don't need Jack Daniels signs hanging everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't need Miller Lite signs hanging everywhere. You don't need the same generic crap. Crap's cool, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
good with that.
You just don't, and it kind of upsets me. I get upset about it because I walk into some of these places and it's just so generic and it's so just ridiculous, and people dig it, and that's the craziest part to me is like this has nothing to do with them. It's just like a script that you're following, and so when we open Big Lug, our goal is to say that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're going to do stuff that means something to us, that we like, that we enjoy. It'll have a different feel, and I think that we accomplished that just because simply we refused to lower the bar. It wasn't like, well, we'll offer you this beautiful mosaic, or, this beautiful sign, neon sign, if you do this for us. Like, no, well, nope, we're not going to do that. So we got to figure something else out. So that's always been the goal. We use a guy, Adam Walsh from ISF Signs, and he's amazing. And we have some really cool people who help us out, and we've been lucky in that regard. But it's to me, I think it's important to have stuff you can hold on to for your city and for your neighborhood. And you go out to places like Portland. You go out to places like Denver, and you see that stuff everywhere, right? People aren't afraid to take chances, and that was kind of our goal, is to take chances and do something different and hope that people get it. It's like, if you don't get it, well, at least you know that, right? Like, that we're not going to change.
Yeah.
I mean, just don't come back. But it wasn't something, we weren't going to just go to the lowest hanging fruit. So, yeah, that was the goal.
Sitting out here on this patio, I'm noticing, the infrared heaters. You got the garage door. This looks like a place you could actually enjoy into winter.
Yeah.
And if it got just awfully bitterly cold, then you could maybe close the garage door a little bit, and people wouldn't be out here. But gosh, I feel we could enjoy this almost year round.
Yeah, I mean, we shut it down in November, but it's like if the wind blows and you have those heaters on,
it doesn't work.
It stops working.
They only work so much.
Yeah, but we enjoy it till November. You can be out here and have a pint. We moved the tables out of here. We have some arcade games coming that are currently at Tappers. Our friends at Tappers.
Nice.
So we did a collaboration with them, and they're going to bring those games up here. So we'll put some games out here and stuff for people when it gets cold, and they can still have a beer and enjoy themselves.
That's fun.
Yeah.
The only thing I could suggest is maybe a little kiddie park over to the side, so the adults can come in here and enjoy a beer while the kids play.
So like a dog park.
Yeah,
but for kids.
You need like a pole to tie them to or something, and I think that would, and give them some crackers. Do you have crackers?
We're 21 and over, so it's no concern of ours.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we actually just throw them out.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's throw them next door to Rockstone.
But to entice
That's
some
my
parents,
style.
you might have to have a place to tie up the kids out there. So.
Yeah, we thought about being family friendly, and I let my brewer make that decision. He has a kid, 2 years old, and I just was like, hey man, I'm not going to play the evil villain here, but I said, hey, you look at the places around us, Three Wise Men, Bruges, Broadable Brew Pub, they're all kid friendly. Every brewery around us is kid friendly. I don't know of one that's not kid friendly, to be honest with you. Maybe Union Brewing, they might not be kid friendly, I don't know. But I was like, why don't we be the 21 and over brewery?
Right, because
So-
you want to
That's
cuss,
nice.
right?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I kinda like that.
yes. We have an open kitchen, and it sometimes is not enjoyable to watch me back there. So
Or it
Okay.
is. Or it is.
Open cussing.
yeah,
So.
yeah.
And I like that.
sometimes
It's nice
not
to be able to sort of relax and enjoy without. Okay, I am childless, so I have a dog though, which I appreciate the dog-friendly
Yeah.
patio, without like minions running around and worrying about hitting them or something.
It's easy for me to say because I don't have kids, and that's why I
Same.
let Scott make that
Oh, yeah, I love it.
decision. But I told him, I was like, I just don't see why we need to be that.
Yeah, you don't need to be.
I don't act like that. I'm very inappropriate, by nature. I'm great with kids, I really am. But just by nature, if you have me working, it's not like I'm not super nice guy all the time. I have a restaurant that's family friendly, and I can turn that switch on, but I have that place, so it's like, well, I want a
Right.
place where I can be more of like myself. My friends can be more like themselves. My servers can be more like themselves. And that doesn't mean that we're just sitting here, telling you to F off all the time. But it does mean that we can come into work and hang out and, wear what we want to wear. And you guys can say what you want to say. And, it's like, I think there's a certain amount of, something we need around here.
Right on.
Agreed.
All right. Well, we are winding down towards the end of the show. I would be remiss if I didn't ask about any upcoming events, cool stuff going on here, or collaborating.
Well,
with other
tonight,
folks.
what time is it?
It's
7:45?
7:47.
Almost debate
Okay.
time in a couple hours.
So yeah, we have our debate game tonight, which we'll do for every debate. Which you have to pick a team, either Team Donald or Team Hillary, and we don't ask why you do it. You can choose it to drink more, or choose it because you enjoy that person. But we're doing a drinking game where once you hear a word that they say, you have to drink a sip of your beer and do it all night. So tonight we have Team Donald. I think he has to say wall, huge, crooked, debt, or police. And then we have Team Hillary, and Team Hillary has to say pneumonia, email, Obama, Benghazi, or guns.
So when your team, is that when you hear the word from either candidate?
Yeah. So
Okay.
if Trump, no. So if Trump said, hey, hey Hillary, what about these emails you've been sending out a lot?
Drink.
That would be a you drink. But if Hillary said, well, those emails that I sent out or whatever, you wouldn't have to drink. So whatever.
Okay.
So that person would be the one who makes you drink if they say it.
Got it.
Gotcha.
So not just depending on who it is or what the word is.
Well, what if you're undecided? Can you play both teams? I mean, it would only be you would be the only loser.
You still
right?
choose a team, right? So
Right.
like if you were going to vote for Hillary Clinton, you would, in my opinion, you would want to choose Team Donald because then you'd have to pay attention more to what you've already decided in your head. You're choosing Hillary. Well, why not listen more closely to what Donald Trump has to say, right?
Right.
And vice versa. If you've chosen Donald Trump as your president, then why not listen more closely to what Hillary Clinton has to say? That is what I feel like the intelligent American would do. Now,
That is genius.
current-
What if,
the-
what if you did the Pete
Genius.
Rose? That's a good angle. What if you did like the Pete Rose angle, where you're just betting against your own team?
yeah, right, exactly, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could go that angle. Luckily, there's not luckily, we'd get sued if there was money on the line. I don't think the state would be very happy about it. So just drinks.
Just drinks.
But yeah, then we have trivia coming up. We do trivia once a month, the last Wednesday of every month. So that one will be a lot of fun. It's 8:30, 1 to 4 people. You can play with one person if you just want to come out and have fun. But we let it to be up to 4 people. And 6 rounds. It's just kind of goofy. It's fun. But we take it seriously. There's $100 gift card, $75 gift card, $50 gift card.
Hey.
We give away some
Okay.
glassware. We give away some T-shirts. I got some Dockage Tears T-shirts.
Yes.
So I got some fun stuff like that. And then let's see, our 1-year anniversary is October 12th.
Nice.
So that's coming up.
Yay.
And we're going to have a sour hour from 4 to 5 with all the sours we made this year, which I think is 7. So we'll have 7 sours on. We'll have our barrel aging release. We'll release like 7 or 8 barrel aged beers that we've done. We're going to have a hog roast that night with North End Barbecue, which is across the street. So they're going to bring a couple hogs over, and basically it's £1 per person is what they say.
Oh, I thought you were
Wow.
going for. I thought you were talking about your pet. I'm sorry. I was going a different direction. I'm like,
Maud's
you're bringing
too
this
small.
hog? Oh, that's
Maud's too small.
Okay.
Yeah, Maud's about 30 pounds. And her meat, she runs around too much. She's not contained, so her meat would be super fibrous and not good. But no, whole hogs. And yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. Live music all night, and we're looking forward to that one. Who knows? People might like us. I don't know. People might hate us and not come up, but I think it'll be a good time.
What's the biggest event you've had here? What's been the biggest private event or anything like that?
Oktoberfest was, I think, the biggest. Is just part of a revenue. I mean, if I'm going to look at it as revenue, we were busy. A lot of beers were sold. I think the event that we tried to push the hardest and just it stunk because it was just crappy weather. That was a collaboration we did with Tin Man, and we made a beer called Sex Bot after Austin Powers. And that beer was really, really successful. And we had Tin Man up, and we had a really awesome Louisville band up here that played from like 8 to midnight, and it was just crappy all day, raining, pouring, cold. It was like mid-April, and it was too bad because we wanted people to come out. But then at like 8 o'clock, it's just beautiful, like 70 degrees, 75 degrees, no rain. And the band played, and there was still probably like 40 of us here, 50 of us here, but I mean, like, these guys were just really, really great. And that event, I think, would have been our most successful had the weather held out, but we'll do it again and see what happens. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, bring Tin Man back up. I love them.
Yeah, they're great. They really are. Tin Man's I have nothing but amazing things to say about those guys. They're really, really cool.
Very cool. Well, Eddie, thank you so much for having us out, and thanks for sitting down with us, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Beer is delicious. Love this place.
Yes.
We'll be back
So
many
fun.
times.
That's for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so appreciate
Cool.
you guys coming in.
Hey, our
Thank you.
pleasure, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Take it easy. All right, guys, we are winding down. What kind of last thoughts do you have, Lindsay?
Food delicious, beer delicious, great view. I love it.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, this area of 86th Street, it's never really been like, oh, I want to go there. But to have it right off of the Monon, I mean, during the spring and summer, this is only like 4.5 miles away from my house. So
Nice.
it's a nice, perfect little bike ride or walk, and maybe not walk, bike ride, and then Uber. But yeah, I'll definitely be back here.
Yeah, I think the location is honestly, it's kind of between, your Meridian and your Keystone exits on 465. You've got the
Yeah.
access on the Monon, just north of Broad Ripple.
Right.
It's kind of like right in the middle of all the cool parts of the north side.
Absolutely.
So it's wherever you live, if you're up this direction or if you're not, it's super easy to get to.
Yeah.
Parking is a gem. There's tons of
yeah.
spots,
So
super easy to
nice.
get into.
so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, even if for some chance that parking lot right next to us filled up, you got the Kroger parking lot right over there.
Right.
Right. Just walk across the Mona.
Yeah, right, pretty hard. The beers across the board were all great. The aroma for all of them stood out to me, so that was awesome. The place as a whole, just the personality it gives, it really reflects Eddie, that's for sure. And also, go follow Big Lug on Twitter because you will be entertained every day.
I'm doing it as soon as I get home.
Doing it
man.
as soon as we're done.
He's entertaining in person. I'm sure he's definitely entertaining on Twitter. You can say things there sometimes that it's kind of tongue in cheek. You don't know if they're being serious or not. So you can sometimes get away with that because you don't have. Some people say that Twitter, social media, you don't without the emojis, you don't
That
know what's really
anonymity.
going on.
Yeah.
So I think I'll have to check it out. Yeah, this is a great place. I was just I'm actually from like an hour west of here, halfway to Illinois almost. But I work in Indianapolis. I'm up here all the time. I just didn't know this was so close. I've heard of it, but I didn't know it was that close to work. It seems like it'd be a really easy place to get to after work. Actually, it was easy for me to get to after work, and I'm
same
on the
here.
northwest side down, near 56th Street, and it was very easy to get here. It only took 19 minutes. So
Yeah.
That's a
location
rush
was
hour.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
it actually was.
I work at Butler, and just coming up Meridian and over was like 12 minutes.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a
at
breeze.
Great.
I worked down college, and it took no time at all. I was like, oh, okay.
Surprise.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll say this about this place. There are a lot of brew pubs in this city, and I've been to most of them. And I think this one, honestly, we've talked again and again about the personality, not just of Eddie, Scott. The staff has all been outstanding. Ryan was a great server. This place feels like what neighborhood pubs will be
In
the future.
Absolutely.
It's kind of it's
Absolutely.
a similar feel that I had to Books and Brews, but this one, because Books and Brews is kind of in a little more industrial spot, and that works for them, and it's great, and they embrace it. This place was built
I know.
in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like it's a ground up, complete build out, and it's miraculous.
fits.
Yeah,
It's
for
well
sure.
done
Fits.
too.
Fits.
You look around, and I would hate to have been the planning engineer for this. All the pipes and angles and all the plumbing, and the fact that the tanks are upstairs and they have gravity. It's gravity fed downstairs. Laying that all out, it was well thought out. It was.
Yeah.
This is very well planned, and it's working. It is definitely working.
It is.
For sure. I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna get a growler on my way out.
I
That IPA
heartily agree.
was
That
best.
conquistador was,
It was
oh
so
man,
good.
yeah.
so
Yeah.
good.
It's like breakfast and
Right.
dessert.
Yeah.
It's like if a mimosa was a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this
Yes.
Oh.
yes.
Yes,
It's
it
a
was.
Mimosa was a beer.
Brunch beer.
French beer.
French beer, right there.
I thought the wheat was really good too.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
That he nailed it when he said the high carbonation, because the spice kind of the lemon zest really hit me
That
on the
lemon
tongue.
peel was perfect. It makes you, it's kind of dries your mouth out enough that makes you want to keep drinking more and more
Yeah.
of it.
Exactly.
And it's in low alcohol enough that you can do that
can
with
do that.
it. Yeah.
I'll give a
Yeah.
plug to that Ted Putt. That was
That
was
that's
really
a solid
good.
autumn.
Yeah.
Solid autumn beer.
beer
And
will-
hilarious story as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Great
All of these
All the
beers,
stories.
all
Oh, yeah.
the stories. Like I seriously, we should just Johnny. We're coming back here. We're just gonna do a listen to Eddie talk
Yeah.
podcast.
Story time.
He's giving me the thumbs up. It's gonna happen.
All of the presidential beers, because I want to know who else besides Taft. I respect something named after Taft, but I want to know who else.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if my wife's listening, but she would appreciate some of his stories because it's not just a one-layer story. It's not
Yeah.
the two-layer. They're like 3 or 4 layers, and then he probably couldn't even tell us all the details. And with just the storytelling behind the beers and how they come up with the names, and I don't think he holds a grudge with the other the place the first name he came up with.
yeah.
It's like-
He doesn't seem like much of a grudge guy. He's more of a.
he's
I'm
poking.
just gonna
Yeah.
flame you on his
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Did I
See
hear
what
something
happens.
about Dan Dockage? Is that?
Oh
what
yeah,
Dockage Tears.
he has the beer called Dockage Tears, and he
Okay.
has T-shirts called Dockage Tears.
That's great.
So if you follow on Twitter, you can figure out why. That's the case. Yeah,
All
We'll leave
right.
you with
it's
that.
very entertaining.
I've got research to do and a
Yeah.
T-shirt to buy. Well, folks, it is that time. Thank you very much for joining us on the Indie Brew Battle 2016. This has been our third episode here at the Big Lug Canteen, right off 86th Street and Westfield, north of Broad Ripple off the Monon. I've been Brian Hahn. Thank you very much for joining us.
Lindsay Love, thanks for joining us, guys.
Lola Levacious. See you next week.
This is Jordan Overton. I just want to say thanks to Big Lug again.
This is Joe Roach. Thank you again for having me.
All right. And you guys all have a fantastic night. Pick your team in the debate. Drink as you will. Have a good night.
Thanks.